maybe Taylor Swift is a good luck charm.
Taylor
for the
Swift
Chiefs,
is a good luck charm.
But I guess Travis Kelce didn't get a touchdown, did he?
No, he didn't.
I mean, he started off hot.
But
right?
I just feel like the way they played, they might have been distracted by the Taylor Swift. Jrue Holliday could create his own shot as well, right?
Yeah.
From anywhere, and defensively, like I said, lockdown. A man who's experienced, won it all, and just a good guy to have in the locker room. He fills out everything. Everything Celtics needed, he fills out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTR podcast.
Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe. Help us get to 200 as fast as we can because we're getting closer.
Yep, we're at 176 at the moment, I believe, at the time of this recording. And as always, make sure you guys follow our Instagram, our TikTok, Twitter, or X, whatever you guys want to call it. YouTube Shorts, we almost post daily. So make sure you guys check out clips from the podcast, challenges. Comment down below what challenges you guys would love us to see, any trends you would love us to do. And and audio listeners, shout out.
Brussels.
Let's see if we get any more cities out of or countries out that's not European, even anywhere around the world except for the US. Download the podcast. If you guys enjoy it, make sure you guys give us a 5-star rating. It'll also support us, to get our dreams going here, to become sportscasters.
Yeah.
Before we get into our sports topics, we just want to let you know this is kind of like part 1 of the podcast. So on Monday, when this is out, we'll be discussing our normal stuff. But Tuesday, we will be dropping our MLB playoff preview, season recap, all that stuff before the first pitch. So around 10 a.m. PST Tuesday, between 10 a.m. and 12. Just because we didn't want to, make this one long. I have a feeling this one would go closer to like 2.5 hours with stuff we might have to share.
Yeah,
right?
just breaking it up, see what happens.
So this one, more NFL, NBA. If you're here for the MLB, still watch it. I'm sure you'll love us talking NFL, NBA.
Yeah.
But MLB related stuff, strictly MLB related stuff, will be on Tuesday's podcast episode. You guys will probably be wearing the same clothes anyways, so it'll be recorded on the same day. But yeah, so that's a bonus podcast episode for you guys.
Yeah, so should we start? Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Before we get into the topics, though, we have to give our condolences. Some sad news has happened. Not one, but 2 deaths that had like 2 people passed away in the sports world. One, we mentioned his name in the last podcast episode. Essentially, it was all but confirmed at that time. Chris Snow, Calgary Flames of the NHL, assistant general manager Chris Snow dies after battle with ALS. He was 42 years old. He got the job starting in 2011. So do the math there. Is like he was in his 30s.
Yeah.
Or early 30s at that point. Yeah. And his wife Kelsey shared this statement. Today we hugged Chris for the last time and said goodbye as he went to give 4 people the gift of life by donating his kidneys, liver, and lungs. Snow's wife Kelsey wrote on social media, "We are deeply broken and deeply proud. In life and death, Chris never stopped giving. We walk forward and with his light guiding us." He was diagnosed in 2019. His father, 2 uncles, and cousin also died of the disease, according to the Canadian press. Yeah, so it's like we mentioned last time, very sad news. We didn't know him much because we're not Calgary Flames fans, so we didn't know what was he like. But even then, we weren't really in tune of news until I recently being on Twitter a lot more, seeing Elliot Friedman, Jeff Merrick, Randeep Janda, all these guys retweeting and like sharing their posts. Frank Zaravelli, even today, Jeff Passan, and he's in a completely different sport and American.
Yeah.
Up in like covering in America, whereas this is a Canadian team. And yeah, sad loss based on what him donating kidneys and stuff. You could tell based on what he has done and based on what other people are saying. Genuine guy for sure. And yeah, from as Jeff Passan said, the world has lost a good one. So condolences to the Snow family and friends.
Yeah.
Another passing away. MLB pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, 2-time World Series champ, Tim Wakefield. has passed away at the age of 57. He had brain cancer. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check that because I don't want to get anything wrong here. But Tim Wakefield, I remember him. This is when I first started watching baseball. That Red Sox team that came back from the Yankees 3-0. With him on that team, Kurt Schilling, Jonathan Papelbon, Johnny Damon, Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, so on and so forth, Jason Varitek. And from what I remember, he was a great pitcher. And let me just confirm. Brain cancer at the age of 57. Yep. So the Red Sox announced this, unfortunately, on the last day of the baseball season. And yeah, rest in peace to Tim Wakefield, and condolences to the Tim Wakefield family, the Wakefield family, friends, former teammates, etc. of the Red Sox organization. And yeah, so sad times.
Starting off sad news. It's just lost two incredible people, and obviously Chris Snow battling for like 5 years. Tim Wakefield been battling his cancer, so it just sucks to see.
Yeah,
it just genuinely sucks to see.
It was better to start off, just give it off the bat rather than hiding it in the middle. So
yeah,
okay. So let's get hard transition now. Let's just get right into it. NFL season, week 4, everything but Monday Night Football has been done, has been completed. Before we get into it, let's get into Thursday Night Football very quickly.
Lions Packers.
What was supposed to be a top level game, in our opinion, kind of became, even though the scoreline made it closer than it was, right?
Yeah, Lions dominated. They were. I think when I saw the first drive, Goff threw a pick. Then ever since that point, it was just like the Lions just started cooking. And the Lions defense real. They are real for sure. They never allowed. They kept on getting pressure on Jordan Love. Didn't really allow him to do much. And they definitely improved that defense for sure. And they're looking scary right now.
Not even just that, their run offense, 18 yards for Jones, 11 yards for Dillon, only 5 rush attempts each, and then Jordan Love had 2 for -2. But obviously they were chasing the game, so they didn't really run it much, I guess, unless they threw screen passes. Yeah, I'm not saying they're like coming out of the NFC or anything, but division contenders is legit now.
Yeah, it's
with
legit,
the Vikings
right?
struggling.
Vikings are won. They got the first win.
Barely won too.
Bears are dead in the water.
We'll get
now.
into the Bears after.
Packers obviously.
They're the surprising team that's contending with them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but Lions look like they're trying to put a lock on the division pretty early, and they're doing a good job so far.
Yeah, that happened on Thursday, so we don't have to go into it too much. But we'll get into it. Actually, I have a question for you later on, which we'll get in related to this. But let's move on. Let's just get Indy out of the way first.
Yeah, let's start with the Colts. So
actually, no, let's not. Let's go to the biggest game of the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Let's just go with that, because I think that one's like everybody wants to hear that thoughts more.
Bills and Dolphins.
Dolphins. By the time this comes out, you guys will know our power ranking on Tuesday and Wednesday, so you guys won't know what we have who where. But Bills woke up, right? And sometimes an early loss is a wake-up call, and that's what exactly happened to the Bills.
That's exactly true. I agree with you 100%, but I'm going to add on to that by saying that performance by Josh Allen is a wake-up call as well.
48-20, by the way, for the Bills.
Yeah, 3 interceptions to Jordan Whitehead, a lost fumble, right? An ugly game like that, Josh Allen needed to respond, wake up, and he had done that the next 3 games.
This is the reason why I had him MVP. It was today's performance, and we saw him obviously improve game by game.
But today was his complete performance, because today he wasn't. What made Josh Allen good, right? Put him on the map was he got digs, and he started doing, and he was able to scramble, make plays, and all that stuff, right? But today he had the fundamentals, right? Early on, I think he had a touchdown to Gabe Davis. He's taking the checkdowns now, and he's not making everything like last play or die type of thing, right?
Yeah. This is the team that I had them in the Super Bowl for a reason. I had Josh Allen winning MVP for a reason, and against a team in their division who've literally put 70 the week before. Doesn't matter if it's the Broncos. I've seen those comments. Putting on 70 against even like the worst team in NFL history is tough, and to hold them to 20 points only with that explosive offense And
Cook.
even that defense, is shown that they need Jalen Ramsey for sure now, because every time we talked about the Dolphins, we forgot to mention that they're still missing Jalen Ramsey. And today, maybe he would not change the game too much, but it would have shown it. It showed it. Yes, Buffalo were home, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day because it was still.
It was hot.
It was hot. Divisional matchup. Miami was rolling, right? I think Miami didn't really face anyone tough outside of the Chargers early.
Chargers, Patriots division, but to be fair, they should have won that. And then who was it? Broncos. Yeah,
Broncos,
so
right? And then whereas Buffalo had the Jets, and now I get it. Stuff happened. He should have won that game. Don't get me wrong, and handled business with against Houston. No,
Commanders,
right? And then
it wasn't really. Yeah, this was a real test, the first real test for both teams, and the Bills dominated because at the end of the day, they should beat the Commanders, they should beat the Raiders, and obviously. After Aaron Rodgers' injury, they should have beat the Jets.
Yeah, like they handled business too. It's not like they, we'll get to the Sunday nighter in a second. They handled business for sure, right? So, was I surprised that it was a blowout? 100%, because the way it started, it was touchdown. So it was 14-14. Thought it was gonna be like that shootout type game that we saw from college football, Ole Miss LSU type shit.
Yeah, something like that.
Or back in the day, Rams Chiefs when Goff was still around.
Or the Dolphins Chargers first game.
Yeah. So, but. Bills definitely put a wake-up call, shut people up, right? They're saying that Josh Allen might have regressed, blah, blah, blah.
But Josh Allen had a complete game, right? He had more touchdown passes than incompletions, I believe. And he's making the smart plays now, which is what he didn't do week one. And that was his biggest question mark, right? Like, can he live for another play? Because he obviously, the way he plays is like do or die at every single play. No play behind type of thing, and it's worked for him for a long time, but also it costed him a lot as well.
Shout out to Moore Hamlin, replacing the injured Jordan Poyer, making his first appearance since the tragic incident. Well, I wouldn't say tragedy like he passed away, but like that incident that occurred back against the Bengals on Monday Night Football, and he's back. Didn't get to watch the game too much, so I don't know how much he really played, but. As a result, though, they win big, but they lose probably Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, feared to be torn Achilles, carted off the field. I think pretty sure it was non-contact injury. Carted off the field, visibly shaken up because Sean McDermott said him after game. This guy works really hard. It's just hard to see him like that because he had an ACL a couple years ago. And now Achilles, most likely what is Achilles, obviously will get confirmed on today after the MRI. But, that's a big loss for them. Clear blow to the secondary. He came halfway through last year. So, yeah, just hoping, just pray that it's not Achilles, but everything is looking like it's going to be Achilles.
Yeah, so obviously big blow there. They might be in the cornerback market, whoever might be available for trade and stuff. But that's the story of the Bills, man. Especially their secondary. They always lose. They lose the corners one year. They lose the safeties the other year, right? And now it's kind of trending to that. Hopefully not the case. Von Miller, however, should be back. He's practicing soon. I think next week. So he could be back. And this was a game without Von Miller. They had won. So on the flip side, the Dolphins, obviously, you're bound to have a bad game. It happened to be in the division, the game you wanted to show people that, like, hey, we're legit. You guys didn't improve that. You got no excuse because Jalen Waddle was back, and I understand he may be not 100%, but you play, right? And but shout out to their running back, Devon Achane.
I don't know. It's Achane, I think.
Achane.
I don't know. I think that's how you want to pronounce.
I'm butchering the name probably, but based on how it's spelled as a chain, I believe. 8 rushes for 101 yards. So that's he's been on the come up for the last 2 weeks. Raheem Mostert obviously still there. You guys don't need Jonathan Taylor anymore.
They don't need him.
Speaking of Jonathan Taylor, let's talk about the Colts and Rams before we get into the game. Yeah. Tyler Higbee contract
extension.
He extended officially.
Rightfully so. He's a big part of that team. Showed why today. He's a tight end that does everything for them. Block, catch, what you need from a staple tight end.
I didn't know he was 30 years old, but
yeah, he is old, but at the end of the day, he's a big piece for that team.
So a 3-year extension with a base value of $27 million, max value of $30.5 million, and $17 million guaranteed per Ian Rappaport and Tom Pellicero. The deal negotiated by his agent through Rock Nation Sports. So that's Higbee. Got tight end markets coming up. Travis Kelce, we're looking at you now. But back to the game, like you mentioned. Like I said, with the Colts season, we literally just said, hey, no expectations. You just do you. Just improve.
That's true.
And I know you said off camera that, hey, if they had won this game, the next game.
I said if they were like 6-1, then I'm like, okay, if you don't make the playoffs, it's kind of like disappointing. But they're not going to be 6-1.
Yeah.
But that was like a hypothetical, like, after a Colts win, I'm on high, obviously.
Yeah.
Back down to earth again, but.
No, for me, the beginning of the game was like, okay, now we're not having fun, right? Like, at least when they played Jacksonville, it was fun. The beginning of almost the whole first half, field goal miss, which Matt Gay was coming off a special team player of the week with his 4 field goals over 50 yards.
EJ Speed
off the bat pissed me off. Like, that was a classic sports fan reaction.
Yeah, just an unnecessary.
Made it up later, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, was it unnecessary roughness penalty on Stafford, which extended the first drive.
Yeah, and then Puka Nacua decided to do the same thing over and over.
Yeah, he's like I said, bro. Our secondary's weak. Puka cooked us, and he got a game. He got his first touchdown. I think that was his first touchdown.
The game winner?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't know that.
I'm pretty sure that's his first touchdown.
The way he was playing. Okay, sticking with the Rams still before we go to the Colts. This is the Rams team I kind of had trouble predicting. Like, you were easily like, oh, they ain't make the playoffs. And rightfully so, your reasoning, I agreed with it. But I just felt like there was something where I won't be surprised. And they kind of showed it against the Seahawks. Now, that could have been a one-game blip. They gave the Niners trouble. At the end of the day, they gave Niners trouble. Lost by 10 points, I believe it was. Or a touchdown or something like that.
It was close to the end.
And then, obviously, the Thursday night football game, Thursday night football? Monday night football game they played. Yes, that's where your point came exactly, which you mentioned on Thursday. But even then, it was a close game, right? And we'll get to the Bengals soon, too.
Yeah.
Where they almost won that game. And this game, it was, like you said, a tale of two halves. First half, O-line beat our D-line. Now, granted, our D-line was injured a little bit, but he still picked us apart. Like, that's Matthew Stafford. You give him time. Doesn't matter who his receivers are. Because Cooper Kupp was out. He will find someone, and he'll make you pay. The run game was effective early on. And, second half, though, he got hit 2-3 times, whether it be QB hits or whether they have been sacks. And he was very hobbled. And, but then recovered enough in overtime to help lead them to the win.
And it's like what I said, bro. The O-line is where this team's going to go. Stafford ain't going to run away, right? Stafford's going to get hit. And, like my point for the Rams was, the reason why I put him down there was that, it's not because Stafford's playing, it's because how long is Stafford going to last, because that O-line is bad. And they've been good. Other than the Bengals game, they've been pretty good up until the second half, where Stafford started getting cooked. You saw him in pain, but they recovered in overtime and got the game-winning drive off. Yeah.
Last night with the Rams, like I said, I won't be surprised if this team's fighting for a playoff spot.
Cooper Kupp is back.
And he's back, and because we had no clue who Puka Nacua was, right? So a lot of our factor was also with Cooper Kupp was gonna be out. We don't know how the run game was gonna be, the O-line was gonna be. The play calling was there, which it showed, and it shows. And then we still have Raheem Morris on the defensive side doing what he can do. But yes, granted, he did lose a lot of pieces due to contract. But Aaron Donald did Aaron Donald things, right? So, I think this team will be a playoff fighting contender. I'm not saying they'll be in. I don't think they're a bottom 5 team. That, at least in hindsight now, like you projected 100%. As well.
I did not. I projected that, but they're definitely not playing like that right now. And Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua could become a solid might be one of the best wide receiver duos by the end of the season.
Now, granted, we're a quarter of the season in. Stafford did look banged up.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
He could be out literally next week or 2 weeks with another 1 or 2 hits, because they're gonna play San Francisco again. Seattle doesn't have a. Seattle's pass rush was questionable week 1, but even then they're gonna be playing other teams, so we'll see how that goes. Colts.
Like we said,
tale of two halves.
Tale of two halves, but your goal is just try to play good football, right? Don't make it ugly like last year. Wins and loss don't really matter this season for us, but at the end of the day, you have a chance here, right? And a game like today got away from you.
A lot of it is because usually why we would be in games is our defense, and today, granted, D-Buck and Grover were banged up. That's what killed them on the D-line, O-line battle. Secondary weak. Dallas Flowers might be out now because he had a non-contact injury, and we need to go get someone for sure because now it's literally Juju Brents and Jalen Jones will be our starters.
2 rookies.
With Kenny Moore, who's decent but undersized at the end of the day. But yeah, like first half was brutal, right? No, the run game wasn't going. The completions weren't going. A-Rich extended the play. The problem was no one was getting open for him. And but then the second half, and then Matt Gay obviously topped it off.
Yeah, like all 3 phases were shit in the first half. Yeah. Let's be honest. And then the
second half didn't start any different either. It was bad.
Yeah,
the first 2 drives.
It took until like midway through the third quarter.
It was so we got the touchdown, and then A-Rich got cooking. Shane Steichen's playbook calling got cooking. The run game got going somehow.
Yeah, Zach Moss finally got going.
And the funny thing is Pittman was not targeted much, and he only made 1 reception.
He was targeted 5 times, 1 reception. But yeah, the tight ends, Jrue Holliday had himself a game in that drive at the end.
And then the defense stepped up with the pick.
Yeah, defense stepped up with a pick, but the issue was we didn't do anything off of that pick. Couldn't get points off turnovers, which is one of the reasons why I think we lost to Jacksonville, because we had opportunities, but we didn't capitalize on those opportunities that the defense provided for us, and we didn't do that today again. And ultimately, like we said, it comes down to a lot of bad penalties, a lot of times where we shot ourselves in the foot. Puka was open a lot, right? And it's not like Puka's a god that's gonna be open all the time. Like, should be that wide open all the time.
Yeah,
right?
Did you see the game-winning touchdown?
Yeah,
blown coverage.
Right? Like, it was clear that I think Shaq had a blown coverage on Puka. He didn't drop back enough. He was just running through our zones, just finding those spots, and he was like wide open. Yeah, like it's not like the ones that Stafford threw to Puka, like Stafford didn't have to fit him in like how he did to Van Jefferson or Tutu Atwell. Like Puka was butt naked open.
Listen, there's no that's a weird reference. Threw me off guard. But I'm not a big moral victory guy, but with this team you kind of have to see the moral victories. And listen, we had no Bernard Ryman, rookie Blake Freeland comes in, got cooked a bit. I'm pretty sure he switched sides with Braden Smith eventually, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And obviously Ryan Kelly, Wesley French did hold his own. But the moral victory is down 23. And this team last year would have been cooked because their expectations were different. And the mentality, well, guess what? Shane Steichen's coaching now. His play calling helped. And his motivation helped, right?
Yeah, he's got him
and
believing.
We got on 23. Everybody's blocking. Pittman wasn't whining about not getting targets. He was blocking, celebrating. Ogletree's touchdown. He was the one blocking at the end there. The one who got the 2-point conversion to tie it that late as well.
Pittman got that one.
And Anthony Richardson kept the play alive, had the deep ball going. There were a few plays.
He did cook. And we have a guy. We have our guy. And this guy is early.
Yeah.
Nobody projected this guy to be this good now.
And this is scary hours because he still has a lot to work on, right? Like the touch pass and all that is still not there. So, but that being said, next week,
reinforcements.
Potentially Jelani, injuries wise, Bernard Ryman will come help. Because we're playing a divisional matchup, and we're not going to talk about the matchup really, but we'll get to Tennessee in a second.
You got Bernard Ryman
and Ryan Kelly should hopefully be back.
Reinforce the O-line
and again. Jelani Woods, if he gets potentially off the PUP list, we'll see how his health is. But the big one, and we alluded to earlier, Jonathan Taylor. No trades as of what I heard from Jay Glazer. No, trades are off the board, which kind of makes sense because a lot of teams' running game is going. But there was a tweet, I don't know who reported, I think it was Mike Chappelle or someone from Indy, that 21-day practice thing has started for him. So that's what's confusing me. I don't know what that means. That does that mean he's not going to play for another 3 weeks or what the case is? But
I don't think it's that though.
But let's see.
But I don't know what it is either.
They're saying that he should be activated off the PUP list 2 weeks ago. Remember that if you were to do a physical right now, he'll pass it with flying colors. Yeah. If that's the case, granted, we don't know what the situation is behind the scenes still. And from what I'm hearing, it's still rocky roads between the Colts and Jonathan Taylor. But get on the field, bro. If you're healthy, get on the field, bro.
I better see you on the
everybody
field.
Up and then get your contract.
I better see you on the field.
Because there's, like I said, the national media, from what I'm hearing, is making it out of think that he hates the Colts. the local media is saying that the national media is saying that he wants to leave for sure, which I get it on his end, but that the Colts do not want to pay him at all.
Yeah.
Whereas the local media, which I'll trust more, like by the local I mean Indy,
the indie beat writers and all that stuff.
they're saying that hey, they just want to see how he'll fit in this offense because it is a new coach, and I think he'll pass with flying colors because Shane Steichen is from Philly, sorry, and with A-Rich, that duo, and then on top of that, just prove that you're healthy, that you're the same Jonathan Taylor from potential MVP year, candidacy from the Carson Wentz year. And then you'll get your money. And we've seen Jim Irsay pay. He literally paid Luke Rhodes.
He paid a long snapper.
All right, he paid
a long snapper.
Injured, injury-ridden Shaq Leonard $20 million a year. He paid Quentin Nelson $20 million.
And these
are
not
right?
premium positions.
Pittman is gonna get paid. We know that, especially what he's doing this year. So if Jonathan Taylor, I know you're not watching this, but a miracle if you do.
Please play.
Please play. Because we need to see you with that and the RPO action, the whatever is going to be perfect.
All
Screen
that stuff.
passes. Like, as good as Zach Moss is doing, he ain't Jonathan Taylor, right? And you have a good confident backup as well.
And you have, you don't have to run Taylor to the ground because of Zach Moss.
And Anthony Richardson.
And Anthony Richardson, right? He doesn't have to run himself to the ground all the time, too. You could just hand it off and go. Yeah, like we said, Zach Moss isn't Jonathan Taylor. So if Zach Moss is doing this well, we don't know if Jonathan Taylor could potentially do better. Whereas Zach Moss at 10-yard rushes, Jonathan Taylor could turn into 20 or 30 touchdowns, right? Because he has that big playability.
Exactly, and he's a capable pass catcher as well. But that's our Colts for the week. We went a little bit overboard because kind of had to give the Rams their props of what they're doing.
Yeah, give Rams their props, and honestly,
especially you giving their props.
Yeah, that's true. And just a quick offensive rookie of the year checkup.
Okay, so that's what I was going to really go into.
Puka Nacua obviously is in there.
Okay, not that one, but yeah.
Anthony Richardson, I would say, is in there in the short list, the 3. And then the third guy is making some freaking. Is he making history? I don't know if he broke any record.
I'm not sure if he broke records, but he still hasn't thrown a pick yet. And another 300-yard game.
Even
though he was 16 for 30.
This guy is cooking. And
CJ Stroud.
He did against that Steelers defense.
Listen, early candidacy for our disappointment and our surprising team is this matchup most likely. Obviously there's others and we'll get into them.
Yeah. For this week.
On Thursday or Wednesday when we record.
Yeah.
But a 36 drubbing on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Let's go with as you mentioned CJ Stroud. Yeah. That division, in your opinion, the AFC South, how it's a joke right now. Is the second worst probably.
It might not even be a joke right now. It's not.
Yeah, true. But I'm just saying, as it was advertised, it was probably the second worst, right, to the NFC South, and the whole.
Yeah, they were battling for last.
In a couple of years' time, once these quarterbacks develop,
might even.
And then we'll see what happens with Will Levis as well. Will this be the toughest division in football?
Might even be next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if these guys make the right decisions, these organizations, which Houston has known not to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
Same goes with Tennessee sometimes.
Jackson. All four teams have question marks.
Yeah, all 4 teams have question marks. But yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, Anthony Richardson, who's killing it, CJ Stroud, killing it, is probably the favorite.
Matter of time
right
till
now.
Will Levis.
Probably the favorite. Let's see if Malik Willis or Will Levis get their opportunity and see what they will do it. Malik Willis did not look good in his rookie year.
Yeah.
To the point where they had to start Joshua Dobbs, who is killing it somehow with the Cardinals in a crucial win-and-end game against Jaguars last year.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens, but it's lining up that way. These Texans are fun to watch. These Colts are fun to watch. Jaguars bounced back today in London. Yeah. And Tennessee had a big win themselves.
Yeah. Before we go to Tennessee's though, this division. Actually, I'll bring it up in that when we talk Tennessee. But Pittsburgh, Matt Canada probably has to go now, right? He's gotta.
Yeah, that's the number one issue. That's the one change.
Kenny Pickett's now injured. You still have Mitch Trubisky. I thought he left, honestly, but he's still there. Offense is stagnant as hell.
It is. I don't know how good the O-line is. I don't think it's that great. I mean, it's too early to tell. It's too early to get off the Kenny Pickett train. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, that's 100% true.
But
because I want to see him with a new OC.
Yeah, that's true. He is not put in the best situations himself. But yeah, no, the initial thing, the first move to get the offense better is Matt Canada has to go.
Yeah. Get it. I mean, Pickens is decent.
Pickens is a good weapon.
Fryermuth is
a good weapon.
Yeah. Najee. So yeah, no,
Najee's been.
I just need to see changes because this is disappointing, right? Because Pittsburgh right now is 2-2 still, so they're still following their 800 or 500 trend. But 6 points against Texans can't be happening. On both phases or all three phases.
Even with that improved Texans defense, it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, I get it. D'Amico Ryans is there, but yeah, no excuses. But let's go to Tennessee, like you mentioned, because we got to talk about. We're not going to talk much Tennessee because we'll preview them on.
Derrick Henry's back.
He's for this game at
least. Cooked, got a touchdown pass, and I don't know if he has the same amount as. Did Tannehill get one today?
Tannehill got a touchdown pass and an interception. Derrick Henry threw a touchdown pass and ran for a touchdown.
So I think he's one below Tannehill for touchdown passes. But it's all. I mean, they cooked. The Titans cooked, and very surprisingly, because we thought once the Bengals got a win, they might start, picking it up. But clearly that didn't happen.
A lot of blowout scores, honestly, here.
Yeah, that's true. But
27-3. Yeah, let's talk Cincy here because they were your Super Bowl favorite. They were and MVP favorite. Now, granted, the injury doesn't help with that decision still, but when he made that pick, I think he was already hurt. So, right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to take that into account. I'll be honest with you. I totally forgot he was hurt.
Yeah, but no, at the end of the day, they could easily be 0-4, right?
100%, yeah.
Because the Rams made it a close game.
It was 19-16.
And don't get me wrong, Joe Burrow being injured is a huge factor. But the problem is you're playing him, and
he's playing.
The thing is, we can only judge what he's doing.
You could tell by what he's doing. He's not the same, right? You have a calf injury, obviously it's going to take effect, but your accuracy hasn't been great, like how Joe Burrow has always been.
His stats of the year right now, he's played 4 now.
Yeah.
2 TDs and 2 interceptions.
Not great.
And this is not including, so he had 0 and 0 today as well. So I don't know what the case is. I don't know if it's the play calling. This is like if it continues like this, my Zach Taylor theory might be coming true if that's the case as well.
I think if they do mess up bad, like I still think
he
might be there.
Injure the excuse. I get it.
Yeah, but no, the root of the problem is the O-line. They can't protect him, right?
Yeah.
And then when and they just look out of sync. They really do look out of sync when Burrow has a thing. It just seems he's out of sync with his weapons. With T. Higgins, who's not having a good year himself. Jamar Chase finally had a good game against the Rams. I don't think he did much today. And Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, like they just seem out of sync.
The thing is here, right? So they play I get it. Browns, Ravens are tough matchups, but you cannot get dropped by the Browns. That's a different story. Your 3-point game against the Ravens, that one makes sense of a loss. But the problem was you were not at the Ravens. You were at home for that one.
You're getting booed off the field.
The Rams, you barely won. 19-16 game isn't great. You could have easily lost that if Matthew Stafford was able to stand upright for a little bit longer.
Yeah, and Matthew Stafford.
You just lost to a lowly Titans team, in our opinion. Now, good news is you got Cardinals up next, but the way they beat
Joshua Dobbs,
and they've been upsetting a lot of teams or making it hard. They upset the Cowboys, but they're making it hard.
They didn't get
for
smoked as I thought they would against the Niners.
Seahawks is gonna be tough. They're like similar right now. Then guess what? They have a bye week, which is good for Joe Burrow. But guess what? Niners, Bills, Texans aren't going to be easy. You got the Ravens again, Steelers tough, Jaguars, Colts, Vikings. Yeah, they
have a tough schedule.
So it's now or never for them because like they're 1-3, they could easily be like 2-5 or something that stretch because their schedule closes off pretty hard. So,
it does.
Yeah, that's our take on the Bengals right now. Speaking of the Titans again, divisional wise, okay, I forgot what I was gonna say now. I should have brought it up then. But so you're saying, but then next year that this could be like the toughest division in football, or are you saying
potentially,
arguably,
if Stroud and Richardson develop properly, you could have 3 teams right there, depending on what offseason moves they make. And Titans, like I said before, Titans are not dead in the water, right? They're still gonna compete. And they are competing. Everyone's 2-2. And we'll have a big division matchup, Titans-Colts next week. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
And this division right now is open for a taking for all 4 teams right now.
Okay.
Yes, Jaguars are the favorite. Jaguars should win, and that's what we predict. But it's for the taking right now.
Yeah. Okay, so second last game we'll get into before we get into Sunday Night Football. So literally the last game before Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Because the rest, they're all like lopsided scores. You kind of expected them. We'll talk about it slightly when we do our disappointments and surprises. But we had to talk about the battle of the shits.
The toilet bowl.
Yeah, the toilet bowl.
The toilet bowl produced a good game.
Denver, Chicago. Yeah, I mean 31-28. So the problem was Chicago had the game, right? They were 28-14 going into the fourth.
So 21 unanswered points.
And no, 17. It was 28-14.
28-14?
And then 17-0.
So 17 unanswered, yeah.
Russell Wilson, decent game. 21 for 28, 223 yards, 3
Fields
touchdowns.
cooked too. Yo, Fields
But
did
Fields was a surprise. Like, obviously, 28 for 35. At one point, he only had one incompletion. Now, granted, incompletion could be on him, or it could be on a drop, or it could be he had no option, right, and threw it away.
Yeah.
But 335 yards, 4 TDs, and a pick to close the game was the pick. And he had the key fumble loss that caused them to tie the game, I believe.
Yeah, that's true. Like, he made some key mistakes.
Khalil Herbert went off as well.
But at the end of the day, the Broncos still had to drive down the field and get a touchdown themselves.
Yeah.
And that's where your defense had to come clutch.
I was in my head ready to say the Broncos are done. Just get rid of everybody, including Sean Payton. Just scrap the season, right? Obviously, I'm not saying they're going to do anything crazy. Maybe this is the momentum swinger they need. Who knows? It is Chicago. So I'm not going to count for it too much because it was still a close game. Then on paper, Chicago... Actually, no, on paper, we thought Chicago would be better too, right? So we expected this type of scoreline, but on a better outcome, right? Maybe like a 2-2 record type game, right?
Yeah.
But Chicago, as of right now, and my shout out to my buddy who sent this to me, because they have Carolina's pick as well. We're not going to get into Carolina too much. Who are 0-4. They could get, and everybody was projecting that Arizona would get
1-2.
1-2, meaning Caleb Williams, assuming they declare, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Now it's Chicago's turn. And listen, hey, if that's the case, you never had a receiver like Marvin Harrison Jr. in a long time, probably. And we don't know what's happening behind the scenes with Chase Claypool being told to stay home. Disgruntled, you gave pretty much a first-round pick for him, the 32nd pick. It doesn't matter if it was second or first round with a forfeited pick.
Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, so maybe it might not be a bad thing that they're shitting the bed, but based on expectations, Flus is going to be gone for sure, Eberflus. And we don't know what the hell is happening. This is not Chicago football. We genuinely thought they would contend for not the division, but second.
Be better. Just be. We
maybe
thought they
just
would be
for
better.
A playoff spot. But yeah, 0 wins still is unacceptable.
That's
for
true.
Sure. And getting destroyed in the process.
That is true.
But maybe some signs. But again, like you mentioned, it was the toilet bowl.
It was a toilet bowl.
So like we'll talk about next week who they're facing. But Chicago, damn. Even Denver, but more so Chicago, damn. Because
that's bad.
You had the option to defend, but I guess maybe you guys were playing mind games by saying, you know what, if he shits the bed, we get Caleb Williams next year. So, and you were smart because you got Carolina's pick out of it too.
That's true. So. No, that was a good trade. I agree with the trade.
Yeah. All right, Sunday Night Football, because there was some controversy. Unless you want to talk about any other game you see.
Nah, we'll go into Sunday Night Football here. First of all, Taylor Swift is 2-0. I guess
that's our clickbait title, baby. Taylor Swift is a good luck charm.
Taylor Swift is a good luck charm.
But I guess Travis Kelce didn't get a touchdown, did he?
No, he didn't.
I mean, he started off hot.
But
right?
I just feel like the way they played, they might have been distracted by the Taylor Swift.
Man, bro, she came in with. Now, granted, I'm not a huge. Now I think it's getting blown out of proportion.
It is. It definitely is.
For the first week, it was fine, but she came with fellow Canadian Ryan Reynolds, Vancouverite, with obviously Blake Lively there. Hugh Jackman was there. So on and so forth, right? Taylor Swift showed up. Aaron Rodgers was also there.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers in crutches. Sight to see there.
But Kansas City side of things, before we get to Zach Wilson, because we actually have to give him props. But yeah, Taylor Swift, 2-0. I'm just saying her name again because we need to put this in our intro and get a clickbait title going here. So, but did you see how like Travis Kelce's now top 5 in jersey sales now, just because of this? 400%
increase.
And then I showed you the picture of fans getting a custom-made jersey.
Yeah, that was like they spelled it wrong.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't just buy a normal one.
Yeah,
but
it's like Kelsey as like Kelcey type of thing.
SEY, yeah.
Huh?
Kelsey.
SEY, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, whatever. She was at the game. I don't know why the broadcast was pointing out every time. But now getting off that actual game. Mahomes struggled again. Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't like vintage Mahomes.
Yeah,
but as always, he does enough, and he did enough in the fourth quarter that 22-yard rush at 3rd and 22.
Shout out to Mahomes. Not just reading it right now. Just saw it. Throws his 200th touchdown pass in his 84th career game, fastest and reached that milestone.
That's insane.
But 2 picks and a touchdown, 18 for 30, 203 yards. Not classic Mahomes.
But
Isaiah Pacheco going off.
But the thing with Mahomes is when he's having bad game, he finds a way to be clutch, and he was clutch.
Yeah.
Right.
But okay, so let's go to that holding call.
I mean, here's my take on it. It's been a physical game the whole night, right? And I thought it was just a physical play.
I genuinely didn't think it was a hold.
I think it's a weak call.
For that moment, I don't know how much of it is just to impress Taylor Swift. I'm obviously joking here, but the script, who knows?
Is the script? Is that the script?
Is that part of the script? But no, I genuinely didn't think it was a holding call. I think you robbed Zach Wilson of an opportunity to have a chance. I think they were in field goal range, or I don't know if they were in field goal range or just out of it. Oh yeah, it was a pick. It was a pick.
It would have been his third interception.
Right. Yeah, so it would have been a third pick, which he got lucky. He didn't get tagged with it, and your fantasy points. But
still survived.
Yeah, no, I think that was a pick. I think he should have been allowed to carry that on because I thought something happened behind the scenes, but I saw the thing happen earlier, so I didn't see any pass interference. I think it's bogus. Now I see why a lot of fans on Twitter in general, when it comes to Chiefs getting bailed out at the refs, is legit.
What is it saying online? Like,
I didn't see anything today, which is kind of weird because normally when this shit happens, like in the playoffs against the Bengals, I saw a lot.
The Bengals one was bad. This one, I don't think it was as bad as the Bengals one, but I just felt like if you're going with like how physical the game was, like consistency wise, it shouldn't have been called.
Well, see, here's the thing: on the Pat Mahomes 3rd and 22 run, blatant holding call on left tackle. I don't know if it was Jawan Taylor or someone else.
It didn't get called.
There's a video as well. Did not get called, right? So that's a bad one for the refs to miss. Ultimately changed the whole trajectory.
It did, bro, because the offense didn't come back on the field. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, Wilson, like you saw, Robert Saleh was like livid, got an unsportsmanlike penalty. I don't blame him at that moment because at the end of the day, you kept the ball.
It didn't cost him anything, but yeah, no. We'll move the Chiefs. They haven't been the vintage Chiefs yet, except the Bears game, which is the Bears. So who cares, really? But at the same time, they gotta be playing better, and it's gonna be it's gonna get tougher for them.
Before I ask you this question, let's go to the Jets. Zach Wilson, time to give him his props for today, specifically Sunday Night Football game. Obviously, he's dejected. I'm looking at videos right now on my phone where he's like, I lost the game because it was a key fumble that caused him to lose by a field goal. But he did play his heart out today. Like, his numbers were Mahomes like comparison, and then it
was kind of like it was almost better. At least in the
first half, right? Like, he spread the ball around. He gave Breece Hall kind of cooked on some runs.
It helps when the passing game was working, and it was working. And I just felt like today he finally the playbook finally clicked for him, right? Because there was a change in the playbook when Rodgers came in, and you're not getting practice reps in a training camp because that's Rodgers, right? Rodgers is healthy. Preseason, they're not going to unload the playbook. Makes no sense to do that. So he never really got practice with the playbook until week 2 practices, basically preparing for week 2.
Dude had so much pressure on him because you had club legend Joe Namath calling for him.
Yeah.
And from what I hear, Namath ain't like that.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that Namath came out and said, it's like, oh, maybe Robert Saleh needs to get rid of him. They brought in Trevor Siemian. Thankfully, they didn't need him today. I don't know if he was off the practice squad or not, but hey, he showed signs today, which is good. Let's hopefully he continues because he's going to be playing the division with better defenses, literally all 3 teams. Right, the Chiefs' defense is okay. Not quite like
it's been good.
It's been decent.
It's been good,
ever since Chris Jones came back.
It's been good.
So it's been decent, right? And giving him his props. Like, yeah, he lost. Don't get me wrong, and he caused the fumble, but he was denied an opportunity to potentially go tie the game or even win, right? So
and he played well.
Yeah, and he played well. So again, he's a professional. I'm not gonna say I feel bad for the guy and overall because he did struggle. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
he's still an NFL athlete that went second overall for a reason. But yeah, for today's game, he showed signs. Let's see if it's not a one-time thing.
Yeah, hopefully the playbooks. I just hope it's a playbook finally click for him. For now, he could build off this performance. For
Listen, he's got
week. Who's he? What are you gonna say is in the schedule?
No. I was gonna say his whole team was also for him. Right? You saw Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard. coaching staff obviously all backing him, which is good, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, okay. This is just random.
What happened?
Because I'm on Twitter, that's why. Edge debuted in AEW today, and Christian was looking at him.
Edge is in AW?
Yeah, it's
Edge is all
we'll
elite.
look at it after. I just had to bring that up.
Edge is all elite. Wow.
The rumors were true.
Jets got the Broncos and Eagles before their bye week, by the way.
Broncos and so that I mean, listen, Broncos are struggling. That's his chance. That defense still be okay. It's okay. And then who?
The Eagles and bye week.
Okay, so Eagles obviously they're struggling themselves because we're undefeated but barely winning.
They're barely winning.
But at the end of the day, that defense is elite. So we'll see what happens there, right?
But quick last point I want to say about Wilson. Yes, he hasn't been good as a number 2 overall pick, right? In his first 2, this is third year now, right? So first 2 years, he hasn't been great. We'll give him that. But if you look at it from this perspective, Aaron Rodgers was brought in to obviously help the Jets, but was also brought in to help Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Like how Jordan Love spent 2-3 years behind Rodgers and is now playing pretty well.
They would have easily traded him if they didn't want him, or released him or whatever.
He is like how Love is playing well. That's kind of how they want to project Zach Wilson, but he just got thrown into the fire. Obviously, unfortunately, it's not even Aaron Rodgers' fault. Like it's just tough injuries happen like that in the NFL all the time with turf, especially, and so it's put him in a tough situation. I just feel like he might finally figured it out. We'll see what he does against the Broncos. If he shits the bed, then it's like, okay, yeah. I'm not gonna say move on from him, like still keep him on roster, but like maybe you gotta switch a quarterback. Maybe Simeon starts.
Maybe a trade happens. Who knows? But last question.
I don't think he gets traded though.
Last question before we get into the other NFL news, because we have to get into Chandler Jones and the gambling rule. We were talking off camera before we hit record. MVP. Obviously you had Joe Burrow. I don't know who your other 2 were finalists with him.
Like Mahomes and Hurts, I think.
Yeah, and then for me it was Josh Allen with Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. Now, out of our 6 guys, I think I have all 3 guys are in conversation, right? You, Joe Burrow, ain't in conversation. Mahomes ain't in conversation
Hurts
right now.
kind of.
Hurts is like iffy.
Hurts is there.
He's there because they're 4-0, but their games haven't been convincing enough, right?
That's true.
Like so, I'm not like obviously I'm not trying to act cocky here, but like my 3 guys are better than your 3 choices.
Yeah,
but no,
I don't care.
The point is, who's MVP right now, right? Because
it's so wide open right now.
Because at the beginning it was Tua easily for me. Right before today,
but then Josh Allen
Allen cooked him. Not him specifically, but cooked him. Okay, that's one option.
It's probably still
so those 2.
It's probably still Tua
Slightly.
Yeah, but Josh Allen has.
Okay, but is it Tua? Okay, now I'm gonna throw in a random name here. Christian, like you brought it up though. To be fair to you, Christian McCaffrey.
He's in the conversation. He
so
deserves.
If you were to give the vote, would you give it to Christian McCaffrey? Because that team's 4-0 and he's a big factor of it, being a skill position.
Another
player.
3 touchdowns today. I mean, yes, right? Like, no quarterback's trying to really take it, right?
Right. I'm gonna play.
Obviously, closest one is Tua and Josh Allen, but like Lamar hasn't shown it. Herbert hasn't shown enough. Mahomes, obviously, Hurts hasn't shown enough. Burrow's been absolutely dreadful. So
Trevor Lawrence hasn't been there either. Herbert, I guess, offensively, yeah, but his team's letting him down defensively. And with
yeah. And
but here's my question to you.
My guy Joshua Dobbs serves.
Okay, no, he's 1-3. I'm not giving it to him. No,
Baker
was until last week's performance.
It's so wide open. It's come to a point where CJ Stroud could be in there.
Yeah, but
right.
Depends on how they do.
Depends how they do rest of the way, but like
you could even say Anthony Richardson at that point if he's
healthy. But like right now, like being so wide open right now, it could be.
There's
CMC.
a name you forgot, and we've mentioned him before.
It could be CMC.
Yeah, but Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Like how much do you think he's gonna win it? No. Do you think he's in conversation right now? Like
now, I think he's ahead of Mahomes. I think he's ahead of Hurts.
So you're saying he's the best quarterback performing? I'm not saying he's better than Hurts. Don't get me. I'm not saying any of that.
Like performing wise, yeah.
Like he's the best quarterback in that conference right now.
In that conference,
unless you're gonna give Brock Purdy some love.
I mean, that's a heavy CMC.
Because like if you're saying he's better than Hurts right now, then it's him. Then the only guy you could say is Brock Purdy or Jordan Love, and Jordan Love didn't have a good game against the Lions.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I think he might be performing. He's playing like a top 5 quarterback right now.
His stats right now are...
He has 3 picks. I think
6
3 in a row.
TDs, 3 picks after the stat of him coming out of having no picks. Completion percentage of 70, 69.5, 90 QB rating. I don't think he's in the conversation. I mean, like in top 3 wise.
If I would give you my 3, it's Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, and Christian McCaffrey. Those are my 3.
Those are probably my 3 too.
Yeah.
Right? And outside looking in, you could say Goff and Herbert.
Goff, Herbert, yeah, and then I'll probably throw in Hurts as well.
Yeah. So the MVP conversation, like at this point last year, you had like it was Mahomes right off the bat. I think it was his to lose in a way. Jalen Hurts as well was in conversation. The year before that, you had like Aaron Rodgers just going nuts. Tom Brady wasn't that conversation. I think the second
Aaron
last year.
Rodgers, yeah, that's when. So year before, that's when Aaron Rodgers went back to back, right?
Yeah. So the second year of the back to back was when Brady was in conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the MVP race is wide open, whereas the other awards you could say like are kind of wide open too. But like this one, it's like there's no grasp of who's clear cut number 1. Like Lamar should be in conversation. Sorry, Lamar's probably in my 3, maybe as well, right? So
he's in conversation.
Like it's not like
my 3.
I guess Indy wasn't terrible either. Like the only loss he had. So,
but no, like I would still like it's Tua right now. For sure, in my opinion.
Like if you had a vote today, you're giving it to Tua.
It's Tua still.
It's technically just a quarter of the season.
But this is barely, like just barely.
Like you were more comfortable last week than this week. For sure.
100%.
How much was Tyreek Hill in that conversation as well?
Yeah, I'll
week 1 was Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but I'll still give it to CMC.
And then you're not giving it to Micah. You're not going to consider Micah anymore.
No, you lost.
How about Depoy?
You lost to Dallas. Not Dallas. You lost to Arizona.
How about Depoy then?
Yeah, Depoy, yeah, but not MVP.
But Kama, who you guys think is MVP? Because it is a tough debate right now. It was obviously when halfway through the season we might have a different answer. Mahomes might just come back and take it because it's that close, right? Allen might take off from here, and I might be proven right. I don't think does Burrow have a chance now.
No,
like you think he's out of the race completely?
I think he's done.
Like what if he puts Mahomes like numbers today for the rest of the way?
Yeah, but
then it depends on how the rest
on
do
others, right?
And you don't think they will drop off completely.
And yeah, there shouldn't be.
Unless
they're too good to not drop
I guess
off.
it's a way because unless the Bengals come out and come first in the division as well. Yeah. And first in the conference from here on out is the only way I could see it happen.
Yeah.
But with him being injured, he's probably out of the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get right into the Chandler Jones very quickly. He got stuff is happening behind the scenes. I haven't been paying attention to this, to be fair.
Same.
I don't know if it's like something going on with him mentally.
It's mentally.
With this, I don't know if it's CTE or anything. I'm not gonna.
We're not gonna like obviously assume.
He's officially been released by the Las Vegas Raiders after signing a 3-year contract with them last year. He was this year supposedly he also wasn't happy with what was happening with the team, Josh McDaniels specifically, which is it's just weird because I understand you're joining a new team and you sign a contract, but then in a year later, you kind of went out, kind of like what James Harden's been doing. But at the same time, I get it because I was a new coach as well, so it was a different environment. He was arrested in Las Vegas for apparently trying to, he allegedly violated a domestic violence temporary protective order and was being held on $15,000 bail, according to jail records. Jones posted bond later Friday and is due back in court December 4.
Yeah.
The Raiders released that they have saying the team is hopeful that Chandler receives the care that he needs, meaning we think something's mental. He, his family, his thoughts, all those are okay. They're obviously monitoring the situation. And yeah, because he wrote on social media that he was taken to the hospital against my will.
Yeah, that's
which is usually where, like, allegedly, in this case, allegedly, he was taken against his will. But this is where, like, a mental hospital type thing comes into question, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
This sucks to see, right?
It sucks to see. Like, once upon a time,
who was that good?
He was that good.
Yeah,
like, he was a top 15 player for some people's eyes. When I was seeing rankings back in Arizona days, a guy that I was trying to go after, the Colts to go after for pass rush purposes, before we made the Yannick trade. But yeah, so we hope that everything is good there mentally. So that's the Chandler Jones situation.
I also have going back to one of the games, I also have very disappointed in Josh McDaniels because Aiden O'Connell led the team back in the red zone of the Chargers. I think it was first down and goal. He had 2.5 minutes left. First play, first down and goal, Aiden O'Connell throws a pick. Why the hell are you not running the ball? You have so much time left.
Yeah, trust
right?
Rookie QB with that.
Like, no, like, give Jacobs a ball there. Like, your first down and goal, and Aiden O'Connell throws a pick. And
not even just that, because he's a rookie QB too.
yeah, as a rookie QB. And, like, obviously, I don't know what his numbers were. I don't know, look at it quickly. But I'm going to give him respect because he was thrown in there. Aiden O'Connell, rookie, for Jimmy Garoppolo. 24 of 39, 238 yards, 1 pick, which was at the end, is no touchdowns. It's pretty decent for a guy who was just thrown in there.
Yeah, because they were like Chargers almost charged it up, as to be like.
Yeah, Chargers almost charged it up. And
yeah.
Aiden O'Connell, honestly, decent debut for him. Do you think they should rock it with Aiden O'Connell? If Garoppolo's, or they're going to rock it with Garoppolo?
They're rocking with Garoppolo.
Right, because they're 1-3 now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's no way they're not going to rock it with Garoppolo.
But yeah, this guy deserves, down the line, if they're still like, pretty trash, Aiden O'Connell should be starting.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to put that out there. When I heard you say McDaniels, I was like, okay, yeah, I need to say that.
Okay, I'm trying to find the gambling thing, but obviously off the bat, Jameson Williams is back
Reinstated,
now,
yeah.
as of today, and I think one other guy, I forgot who it was. NFL, according to Adam Schefter, NFLPA, this was on September 29. NFL and NFLPA are modifying its gambling policies. There will now be increased discipline for gambling on NFL games. Now a violation is 1 year, and 2 if a player bets on his own team. Any game fixing will result in banishment, which obviously makes sense. Message from the NFL and NFLPA: don't bet on the NFL. So
yeah, they're trying to make it clear. I guess that's clear, right?
So I have a question for you here. And I don't care, we don't gamble, right? Like, again, the only gambling we really do is within family, right? For example, our pick'ems.
Yeah.
And your fantasy football and stuff. But I think it was Colts Mafia's Instagram page. I think you may have seen it tweet. But the NFL is allowed to make money off FanDuel and sports betting deals. Now, I get it. NFL themselves are not really betting, but they're profiting off gambling. Now, this is obviously for NFL, right? I'm assuming players could bet on NBA.
Yeah,
or no? Do you know into that or no?
I don't know. Like, it should be allowed, right? It should
not be allowed in the NFL.
They shouldn't bet against NFL, right?
Because insider information could be a thing.
Yeah, that's all true. Like, as an NFL player, I think you should be allowed to bet on NBA, NHL games and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you shouldn't be betting on, obviously, NFL games. I agree with that. That you're not betting on NFL games, but if that's also a rule, then I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the exact thing, because this said that it was like first offense is a year, second offense is 2 years.
Yeah, something like that.
So why did Jameson Williams get 4 games then? Like, why is he less? Because I know Isaiah Rodgers is still indefinite, and
he bet on his own team. I don't think Jameson.
He bet on his own team and was in the facility.
I don't think Jameson Williams will, because Jameson Williams was hurt last year, right? He came halfway through the season, so I don't know if his punishment was based on the first half of the season, where he wasn't in facility or playing in general, so probably that's why he bet on it. Like how Calvin Ridley did, right? When Calvin Ridley got his, Calvin Ridley was hurt, so he didn't bet in facility.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if he bet against Atlanta or not, but he wasn't in facility. He wasn't part of like the game, so he couldn't really,
okay, so it says here, any NFL related bets from team facilities will now be punishable with at least 1 year suspension on first violation.
Yeah.
2 year suspension for bets
betting on own team.
Own team.
Yeah.
The league will issue a permanent ban for match fixing, like I said that, which is fair. Anyone bound to be providing inside information or tipping to aid others' bets will also face an indefinite suspension with a minimum absence of 1 year. So it looks like you could bet on NFL games, but not from the team facility? Because it says any NFL bets related from a team facilities. So, like, for example, if you're an NFL player and you're sitting here right now.
Okay, so I think if you bet on NFL games at, like, your house and it's not your own team, like, you want to get a year.
Okay, so here's
like, you'll still get suspended, but it will be like how Jameson Williams got suspended.
Okay, so on the other hand, non-NFL sports bets from the workplace, so NBA and all that, will result in a 2-game suspension on first violation, while the 6-game suspension will not be issued unless the policy is violated a second time. Previously, players could be suspended 6 games for placing any non-NFL sports bets while at facilities. As a result, this is why Jamison Williams, a Titans lineman, Nicholas Petit-Frere, I guess, is back now for our game, who had been suspended 6 games to open, is now reinstated after 4. Any players using a third party or proxy to bet on games will also subject to an indefinite suspension of at least 1 year. So, so you could bet on NBA stuff, but you can't be at the facility when you do that.
Okay, that makes sense.
That one's fine. NFL, I think you should be not allowed to bet at all because
I agree.
The risk of insider information, all that.
100% agree with
Listen,
that.
even in an NBA, technically there's risk of insider information because people know each other.
That's true.
Sports, but yeah, like so at the end of the day, it's like very contradictory because you're making money off FanDuel and all that, or whatever partner you have.
At the end of the day, you can't really bet on your own sport. Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
No,
to me.
That's for sure. But that's the updated thing. So that means it's confirmed that Jamison Williams was betting on NBA games in the facility.
Detroit Lions got another weapon.
But how do you get caught with that though?
They'll find a way, man.
No, I'm just saying, like, you're on your phone, you make a bet. Like, are they gonna get the security of FanDuel, for example?
Like the timing when the bet was made, probably, in that time, they're like, oh, he was in the facility. It's not that hard.
Yeah, it's just super.
It's not that hard.
Super tedious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's to find a way.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the NFL news for the day. Big long topics for sure, but
let's head into soccer.
You want to go to soccer?
Because I want to get this VAR shit out of the way first.
Okay, because you want to end off on the NBA?
Yeah, we'll end off on the NBA.
Okay, because we have a massive trade in the NBA. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that.
VAR.
So that's the biggest story of the weekend.
That is the biggest story of the weekend, coming from Liverpool versus Tottenham. Luis Diaz scores a goal, and it was a close call, right? Like when we first saw it, when they showed the replay, but somehow VAR instantly said no, it's offside in 4 seconds. And game
That's what confused me because
they didn't draw the lines or anything.
Yeah,
just one little picture, and they're like, "Oh no, it's offside," because on-field call was offside as well.
Yeah,
and 4 seconds, no lines or anything, no taking their 20 minutes that they usually take to make a call, and after the game, they come out saying that refs VAR messed up. Luis Diaz was in fact onside, which what it looked like to both of us.
On the naked eye, yeah.
And we were surprised. We're like, what the hell? Like, they already declared there was no.
We were whatever because we're obviously at the end of the day
we don't care, right?
We don't really care.
But at the end of the day, we're talking about integrity of the game.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit. As simple as that. You have 4 or 5 freaking big ass screens in front of you, and you're telling me you can't freaking figure out
they
what offside or onside is.
Like, I don't even think they really used it, the VAR process. They called it a human error.
Huh?
The whole point of implementing VAR
is to fix human error.
Yeah.
So it's a VAR error as well.
So
it's incompetent piece of trash. That's what it is.
For me, the whole point of VAR was penalties are questionable. We all know that.
That's just
red cards questionable. We all know that, right?
There's so much gray area there.
But for offsides, it should be clear cut.
It's clear.
The game is fast. So
yeah.
An offside will be made on air. Like, I wouldn't blame the linesman for calling it offside if that was instant.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
So now the problem with that is also you could have like an umpire situation where it's a clear strike ball that was a clear offside and you don't call it, right? Which is why everybody says Manchester United or any Barcelona, whatever shit happened there. Which reminds me, we have to get into Barcelona stuff. I forgot tonight on the board. The whole point is to clear the VAR. Now, obviously, how much of it is us being Man United fans, but that Garnacho offside against Arsenal, was that legit drawn lines properly? Because you kind of suspected it without being biased, but now you could have been slightly biased towards it.
That could be slightly, that one was at least done through the process, right? Yeah. This one wasn't even done through the process.
And I think similar thing happened last year, where they didn't draw the lines in an Arsenal game, I think it was.
Yeah, I don't know what game it was, but similar situation happened last year.
Then there's issues with that, right? And then there's issues with the red card. Now, the red card that was given to Curtis Jones was the same thing as Casemiro. Now, granted, as a Man United fan, I don't care if Liverpool fans complain because we had to go through that last year, right?
Yeah, it was similar to Casemiro last year.
But that doesn't make that situation from last year, as Mark Goldbridge put it out perfectly, that this isn't right either.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, yes, as Manchester United fans, we hear fans complaining that we should feel bad. No, we don't feel bad in that sense because we literally went through it. But in terms of the integrity of the game, like you mentioned, that was not, in our opinion, is not a red card. Because now, to our cousin's point, who hates Manchester United, the slow-mo freeze frame makes everything look bad.
It does. It genuinely does.
If you're freeze framing the studs on the shin like this, those on YouTube watching, those on audio, just check on YouTube what I'm doing. Like this is the studs, my 3 fingers right here, and you're going like this, and you freeze it right there.
Yeah,
that's gonna look bad.
It looks disgusting.
At the end of the day, like we were playing a soccer league game, and the guy who runs it, who kind of is chill with us now, was saying that like, he didn't see it properly, but then when he saw the freeze frame, it looked bad. But I'm like, that's the freeze frame.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it went over the ball, so the ball's like right here, the foot skid and then hit him. The same thing with Casemiro.
He got ball first.
Exactly.
That's
right?
what pisses me off.
So
right?
Now. Yeah, if you're looking at the freeze frame way, then it's bullshit. But then everything else should be a red card.
Like
from now on.
Okay, let's be real. Like, there's so many things that happen in the game where, like, if you just get the perfect picture, it looks ugly.
Yeah,
right?
no, 100%.
It's like Phil Jones' face type of thing, right? It's the same thing here.
Remember the Mark Goldbridge goal line technology FIFA clip?
Yeah.
Where it was frozen on the, like
it was frozen on the line, right?
Right, and then the next play was like that, right?
It went in.
It's the same kind of vibe here. Yeah. A little flipped on the timing. Though, that's it.
It's just genuinely like pictures. They just make it worse because I could freaking like I could do the same thing, right? Like I could barely graze you, but it will just catch the moment where I touched you barely.
Yeah.
And it will make it look like, oh yeah, this guy, deserves a red card, whereas he actually don't.
On top of that, like the yellow cards for the early time wasting and like that all is annoying. We check out the Peter Glinda podcast. He touched based on that. Like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of wrong with the VAR situation. Something needs to be clear cut about it, or just go back to the normal way. And the normal way is going to cause issues again because people are going to accuse teams of, they're favoring this team, aka Manchester United fan. But yeah, no, that's the VAR thing.
That's VAR.
That was egregious. That was massive that we need to talk about. Now, Liverpool fans suck to suck.
Yeah.
But because obviously they went down to 9 men eventually. The second one was I don't know if the first one was a yellow, but the second one definitely deserved
the
a
second
yellow,
one,
which resulted in the red. And
Jota's.
Unfortunately, Matip scored an own goal.
And Tottenham won.
Because when that red card happened, I think Liverpool would have been up 1-0.
What, the Luis Diaz one?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
would have been up 1-0. Yeah. I don't think Son scored.
I think they would have been up.
Son scored after that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that's it. Like, that's the VAR rant. As for the teams, very quickly, that was the biggest game, which got ruined by VAR.
Man United lost. Arsenal won. Man City lost.
Yeah, that's the big one.
That's the big one.
Who cares about Man United? We'll figure out Champions League next week. But,
that's basically it. Should we just go to Barca one? Or is there Champions League's back this weekend as well?
Let me see the big matchup for that. Obviously, we know which matchup is going to be the biggest. It's that Group F.
Group F, I think, is...
So, United, Galatasaray, we don't need to go into too much.
Yeah.
Hopefully we win. Don't trust us, though. Napoli, Real Madrid. It's going to be a big game in general on paper. Yes, there's no more Kim and Jae, but...
That's a big game for sure.
And so that's on Tuesday. When Newcastle, PSG, Dortmund, and Milan... And yeah, that's it. Those are the big ones because the City's playing Leipzig and then Porto, Barca. So, but Barcelona situation, because like all of a sudden randomly saw reports of like who should Man United take from Barcelona, or like the meme of Erik ten Hag finding the contract, shredded contract, and how to make paper. Essentially, that meme came up. I'm gonna try to pull it up exactly here. Essentially, there's a bribery issue going on apparently from 2009. Now, the first part of that is Barcelona. So Barcelona have been charged with suspected by bribery. So it's allegedly.
Yeah.
Payments worth more than 7 million euros made to companies linked to the former vice president of refereeing committee, Jose Maria Enriquez. I don't want to say this word because it sounds like the answer, but yeah.
Some Spanish don.
Nigeria, I'm going to say it like that.
Some Spanish don, right?
Yeah. Judicial sources have told Spanish news agency former Barcelona president Josep Maria Bartomeu, who was no longer there, and Sandro Rosell also stand accused of the same charges, as do Nigeria and his son Javier Enriquez Romero. And obviously people know the situation with the whole Chelsea Barca game.
Yeah.
The disgrace game from Drogba.
The disgrace game, yeah.
Which I think ultimately led Barca to go to the final and beat United.
Now that you mention it, I want to watch the highlights after the game too.
When I heard about this, I went back to watch the highlights because that's when I was a casual soccer fan.
Yeah.
Right? And I went to watch that game and I saw like, okay,
I want to watch the highlights after this.
No, watch it. Trust me. There were certain moments where you're like, what the hell? Because Chelsea was winning that game.
But yeah, no.
It was the second leg.
Barca, you cheating bastards.
Listen, I'm a Barcelona supporter as well.
Allegedly.
Man United first, but Barcelona
Allegedly, right? Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't look good.
Okay, so here's my question to you.
It doesn't look good. Messi's still the GOAT.
See, now that's going to be the problem. Every Ronaldo fan and Messi hater is going to taint it for that. I don't know how much Pep was involved, but if Barcelona and Manchester City are found guilty for their cheating, bribery, match fixing, I don't know where. This is by the way, Man United beat writers. That's why it's
that's why Man City's
financial, because Man City has 115 charges allegedly. Match fixing. I love that word. Right?
Allegedly.
Just keep our asses covered. Just say the word allegedly, even though it might not be alleged and it might be fully true.
Allegedly.
Financial doping charges and corruption. Pep Guardiola's legacy as a manager is absolutely finished. 29 trophies, including 2 trebles, would be 100% void. Let that sink in. Now, this is from a Manchester United writer. Now, as Manchester United fans, and I've talked to non-Manchester United fans, I think our cousins and family agree that Fergie is the GOAT no matter what, right? He's still the GOAT. This is without all of this.
This is not allegedly.
Yes.
Right.
This is
Fergie's the GOAT.
Fergie's the GOAT.
Ferguson's
still the GOAT. This might confirm it even more.
Yeah.
Because our family has said themselves, I believe that Ferguson is the GOAT.
I mean, our Sir Alex Ferguson tormented Arsenal, right? That's why they all hate us. And obviously Liverpool and Tottenham, Chelsea. Like Ferguson has done it for 20 plus years. Yeah. As a coach.
Same team. Yeah. But yeah, let me just see if there's any more details. But this is insane because they had Brocolona memes going on after him. Now they have bribery cases. Like people thought they were getting favored by the ref, but now you have a alleged bribery case.
And a disgrace game might actually be legit disgrace game.
Yeah, and back then there was no VAR.
Yeah, that's true. So, but moving on to Quickfire, unless you see anything else, so I'll just get it started. The San Francisco Giants have missed the playoffs.
Okay, so again, keep a reminder that MLB recap.
Yeah, like a proper one
tomorrow.
There's just a couple little news here.
We'll bring this up then probably.
Yeah, Gabe Kapler, San Francisco Giants manager, has been fired. Giants choked near the last month in September and missed the playoffs to the point that the San Diego Padres finished ahead of them. And Barcelona is back.
This is just randomly on Google.
Yeah.
If found guilty, the sentences for the individuals could be between 3 and 6 years in prison.
Oh, what the
hell? Barcelona could be suspended from trading as a professional football club. So, which means that's why the thing of who should Barcelona get or Man United get from Barcelona, aka Frankie De Jong, or maybe Gundogan goes back to City, stuff like that. Suspended from which would likely plunge the 124-year-old club from entity into bankruptcy because they're already broke as it is.
But yeah,
that's insane. One of the biggest clubs in the world, arguably, next to Manchester United and Real Madrid,
could be finished. All right, so let's get away from that now.
Yeah, no, I had to say that was hilarious.
Yeah, so Gabe Kapler jail time. Gabe Kapler has been fired.
Gabe Kapler will not get jail time.
Yeah, Gabe Kapler's not getting jail time, but.
San Francisco, very quickly, we're going to talk about in the season recap whether disappointments, since this is one of the teams. Obviously, after having a 100-plus year winning the division.
They lost Brandon Belt to injury.
And then to the Blue Jays.
To the Blue Jays. Kevin Gausman was signed with the Blue Jays. And they were an old team when they... that was their last hurrah, in my opinion. And
then it sucks that the Correa shit happened for them.
Yeah, that's true.
They were supposed to get judged, and they announced that... Not them, but I think it was...
It was so close.
I think it was John Morosi or someone, or John Heyman or whoever, insider, announced judge to the Giants. Yeah, but that didn't happen. But yeah, no, it sucks. I think Kapler wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad.
He could be a guy that will get picked up. We could probably talk about under season recap who else might get fired. And listen, we don't know shit about the MLB outside of the Blue Jays. No, sorry, we know stuff about the MLB. We don't know about how good the managers are, to be exact.
Yeah, that's true.
And how good the bench bosses are. But in a situation like this, we know how good Kepler is. He's pretty decent. Like, he was in the race for a bit this year too, until late choke, and he was in it for a bit in the beginning of the year till like the All-Star break. I think he was in a wild card spot for the most part.
Yeah, they were in it.
Like, the Dodgers ran away with it after the wild card.
Oh,
sorry,
like the
after
division.
the
You're talking about
All-Star.
division. Yeah, division. Yeah.
Like, it was there. Like,
They were
Arizona
there.
was there.
Dodgers ran away with that after
the
All-Star.
All-Star.
Yeah, and then September just wasn't a good month for him.
So Kepler could get hired by spots that might fire people. For example, Angels, depending on what to do with Ohtani. Buck Showalter is gone, so maybe the Mets get him.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that, right?
All right. Little bit more baseball news here.
Okay, let's go back. Back to our VAR discussion. Back to our NFL.
This is straight human error. All right.
Angel Hernandez. Okay, so I did not know how bad Angel Hernandez, who he was by name. I knew umps messed the hell up until that day when we watched it in my room. The highlights of how bad he messed up the Phillies Bryce Harper thing. So Angel Hernandez, known baseball empire, known scam artist, I guess you could say.
Yeah, right.
If you want to talk about match fixing, this guy has to be tested. 100%. You cannot deny me. Because, listen, before you go, let me finish this off. All right? After seeing that, Google Phillies, Bryce Harper, Angel Hernandez from last week. Like, all you gotta do is type in ejection. Bryce Harper ejection, Angel Hernandez on YouTube. Google it, whatever you want to do. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Essentially, Bryce Harper got struck out on a check swing. That was not...
Clearly not a swing.
That was not a swing, right? So, non-baseball fans that are watching this, a check swing means that, like... Okay,
you're about to swing.
You guys have to watch this on the YouTube audio listeners. But if I have my bat up here, I'm just doing it right now. And if you go like just below, under half of the base, right? That's deemed a non-swing because you checked your swing. But if you go literally past like this, then it's deemed a swing.
So it's basically if you go past the plate.
Yeah,
right?
Essentially, right?
And then on the third, depending on which batter
if you're left-handed and the third base umpire looks at you,
which was Angel Hernandez, and he called it a swing, and Bryce Harper just absolutely...
Bryce Harper's lefty?
Yeah, Bryce Harper's lefty.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And absolutely just shat on Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, so
threw his helmet in the crowd and then
Sportsnet and TSN, I think it was Sportsnet,
put
up like a bunch of clips of him messing up. And little do I know, I didn't know he existed in the 90s.
90s as well.
So there were plays messed up there. You could just, you know the worst part about all this is, and I listened to Rich Eisen react to this. Rich Eisen, shout out, you could check his shit out on YouTube as well. I don't know, should I not say it like that? Check his stuff out on YouTube.
Check his stuff out.
He's a good sports guy, like sports anchor, whatever the thing is, right? Breakdown guide, Rich Eisen show. You can check it on YouTube. Not promoted. That he was like yelling. He's like, "How is this guy still in the league?" Right. And then he said this exactly, and I agree with it. And it doesn't look like he makes a mistake. Like, you don't see an apology after or anything like that. It's just he just smirks. He messes it up. He just looks at him like, yeah, get out.
He's like,
yeah, it's like
that's what it is.
It's like he knows he's doing it on purpose and making a show about him, and that's what he's doing. He's literally making it about him, not the players, not the coaches, not the game itself.
You know you're a shit umpire if I know your name.
Exactly.
I don't know any other umpire in the name except for Angel Hernandez.
And then NBA kind of knew one or two of them, but
those guys are like decent refs too, right?
Yeah,
but
Scott Foster,
Ben Taylor.
One guy did get retired because he thought he was gonna get shit on. Remember the Lakers Celtics, but that's a different story. But no, yeah, like I know there's one more that's bad, but when you look at Angel Hernandez's game reports, it's insane.
It's insane, yeah.
Sorry, our family's someone in the background, so I was so confused with the lights. That's why.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's not a ghost. But it's wild because I forgot. I lost my train of thought now too.
You know his name and you know he's bad.
Yeah. But no, like I'm just saying. Okay, yeah, this was I'm saying. His game log is just like
like 80%. Now,
what's the thing called again? Like after like the report.
Oh, in the NBA, like a 2-minute report. The last 2-minute report.
The refs messed up.
And then the VAR thing is the same thing too for Liverpool.
Yeah, this is a genuine ref error. This guy probably gets that every game, or at least
every ref has it every game.
Like the comment that this guy messed up.
Oh yeah, that becomes public.
Yeah,
no, but like 80% accuracy is horrible when it comes to a game like baseball. at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because I hope this guy isn't reffing any Blue Jays games.
Better not be any Blue Jays playoff game.
Playoffs, by the way, start for MLB on Tuesday. So that's why we're like I said, check out that whole.
But moving on to boxing, we have a fight.
Screw you, Angel Hernandez. He pissed off at the moment.
Okay.
Okay, boxing. Yeah,
boxing. Canelo Alvarez versus Jamel Charlo, right?
It's exactly what we predicted. What we predicted on Thursday's episode literally happened. Unanimous decision. Jamel Charlo got dominated. He was there to survive. 2 weight classes up. Canelo looked different though. Canelo
looked like a beast.
Yeah, like after post fight, swearing in English and everything.
Spoke
did a whole
English,
interview. We'll see what happens next. He said his next fight will be Cinco de Mayo. But yeah, the fight was literally he just dominated. The knockdown, yes, maybe Canelo did not clean knock him down, but he hit him hard enough that Jermel wanted a break. But yeah, Jermel tested it out. Shout out to him. He did it. But you know, it's a sport that you know you can't be too proud of if you lose. But he did call out Terrence Crawford, and I think Terrence Crawford will kick his ass, personally. That's just me, because like how good Terrence Crawford looked against
Terrence
Errol
Crawford
Spence.
looked good, yeah.
Who knows what happens with that, but I do want to see Canelo-Terrence Crawford fight.
That's true.
I just do.
Yeah.
Especially this Canelo. Because now I don't want a situation where one of them has to go down and wait and with themselves, like Ryan Garcia, or one of them go up and wait, like Jermel Charlo. Like I want a middle ground weight. I don't know whatever weight they each are. Just meet in the middle.
Yeah, just meet in the middle, right?
It doesn't have to be for the belts. Just fight.
Just fight.
Simple as that.
Just fight.
That will be the true determination of pound for pound. And then if Canelo wins that, then he should go up and fight Usyk. And
the only reason like
Fury.
one person goes up, obviously,
well, Fury is.
The only reason one person goes up and down in weight classes to defend the belts.
Yeah, but so don't defend the belts. Do what
just do what
Garcia and Tank and Garcia did. Essentially, that's what it was. A catchweight fight. That's what they call it.
That's what it was?
Yeah, it's called a catchweight fight. So that way, it's not like at a bantamweight. In this case, bantam was like a welterweight or middleweight or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So just catchweight, it's something like that. Just get it going. But who knows? I'm down to see Jermel Charlo versus Terrence Crawford. I think it will still be a decent fight, but Terrence Crawford was an animal. That's all I gotta say.
Is.
Right? Like he kills it. So speaking of boxing, we got some big news, and I hope it's true. That's the key thing. I hope it's true because they said it's signed. There's difference between what happened with. I know you're alluding to it, but difference between what happened between the original
Spence and Crawford
fight was agreed.
But yeah. Usyk and Fury have signed the contracts for probably
undisputed heavyweight title fight happening in December or February.
Who's gonna determine the best heavyweight?
The bout could take place in December 23 or sometime in January, according to ESPN's Mike Coppinger. Now December might be a little too quick. Now we're assuming Fury is gonna beat, which by the way the fight's this month.
This month, right?
Ngannou.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think Fury knocks Ngannou out, or literally just outboxes the hell out of him. Because I don't know. It is not a professional fight. It's not an exhibition, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
But yeah, if this is true, it's back on. It's signed, apparently. Fury tweeted or Instagram, or no, tweeted it and Instagram posted it. I don't know. It says signed.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's see. Like, obviously, in our heads, Fury should probably win that fight just because. But I'm not going to count on Usyk. But it is. Like, finally, we got 2 undefeated guys again, like Wilder, Fury. Go at it and defend. Go for all the belts. Simple as that.
Well,
now, to be honest, Usyk also had a controversial win last fight against Dubois. So.
Yeah, he did.
But right now, I don't care. These guys should fight. This is the next big fight now.
In heavyweight, yeah.
In general.
Yeah. Probably is in general.
Except for like the Canelo.
Yeah. In general, yeah. This is probably the next big fight. Like Spence Crawford level.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of the lightweights because that's the stock division.
I don't think anything is gonna happen that.
It should have been Haney and Shakur, but that's it. That's the only one.
But last bit of quickfire news: WNBA finals are set, and whoever does follow the WNBA a little bit, it's no surprise what the finals are, which is the Vegas Aces versus the New York Liberty.
Yeah. So on one side you have the defending champions, and the Aces who have. Led by Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray,
Kelsey Plum,
and Jackie Young, and I forgot who they had the 6 man of the year or woman of the year. I forgot who it was, but obviously we didn't really watch the WNBA much, but we knew it from the beginning.
We knew this was the final,
because the Liberty has Sabrina Ionescu, who's like the Devin Booker of that team.
Yeah.
Jonquel Jones wanted to get traded there. Brianna Stewart, who won MVP, went there. The only other person really to come back from an Achilles injury.
Courtney Vandersloot.
Vandersloot is like the CP3 slash
CP3,
whatever, the playmaker of the WNBA. So it's a stacked match. I think on one side you have Becky Hammond obviously coaching on the Aces, and Commissioner's Cup winners were was
Liberty.
They beat the Aces, so there's that. And yeah, I might tune in for sure. Like obviously I can.
I do think it's.
I just wanted to wait for the final. If this was the final, great. Like let's just watch it.
I do think it's Liberty is the better team in my opinion. Still, I think they have the slight edge.
I'm giving it to the Aces a little bit.
You give it to the Aces?
Continuity.
I think Stewart is the best player, like in general in that league. Brianna Stewart.
I think
even
it's a debate. You can't say it's just.
But I think it's Stewart.
I think it might be Asia. Yeah.
And the fact that you probably got the best center in the league, Jonquel Jones, who carried the Connecticut Sun the last few years in the playoffs, and getting that traded done, really just I think sets them apart. I think they have the. Yeah, Vegas has the more continuity, but I think Liberty has more star power.
Yeah, I mean, I think Asia and Brianna Stewart are neck and neck. Like I don't think it's clearly each.
Yeah, no, I'm giving the edge to Stewart.
I'm giving the edge to Asia a little bit, but yeah, because I know Brianna could stretch the floor and Asia can't that way. But like Asia defensively and rebounding wise is a monster from what I have seen. But yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, Team USA women's basketball is more dominant than the men's one now in terms of their gender, because you literally have the two best. Once upon a time, the two goats.
Insane.
And
but chucking Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark.
So let's just go with this. I'm going with the Aces. You're going with.
I'm going with Liberty.
It's a best out of 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see being a 5 gamer.
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully, I could tune into some depending on the times.
Yeah, they play at random times, right?
Just a 5 or 5-ish. Yeah. No, I'm down to actually tune on this one. This one.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I did not pay attention to WNBA, but I knew this much that like. I didn't need to because I knew what the finals were.
All I knew is
everybody knew what the finals were.
All I knew was Aaliyah Boston killed it as a rookie, and these two were the best teams.
And these two were the best teams.
I think overall best team in the regular season was Aces.
Aces, yeah.
So let's see, can they run it back to back, and we'll go from there. Speaking of the WNBA, let's get to the NBA, and we got another trade that we anticipated to happen.
Jrue Holliday.
Yeah, they flipped him, not finally, because the trade happened pretty quick, and I'm pissed. I'm pissed. As a Laker fan, I'm pissed. But as a guy who were analyzing the trade market for Jrue Holliday,
Boston Celtics got a big W.
Yeah,
that is for sure. 2 picks, I think it was Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, who's injury prone. Both of them are injury prone.
Yeah, and
2 first-round picks. Good return for Portland. And Jrue Holliday. We were saying if Celtics find a way to get a point guard, they could be up there in the Bucks. And obviously Jrue Holliday was available, and that point guard is absolutely insane because he could handle the ball and he could defend like crazy.
Yeah. So when we were looking back at it, we'll get into our winners or losers for other teams again very quickly. Not as much as the Dame talk, but off the bat we said Celtics, off the bat we said the Heat, and off the bat we said the Clippers, right? And I know we threw Dallas in there, but I think that was my 4th option.
Yeah,
in terms of where Jrue fits well and could help a contender.
Celtics was number 1 place.
Like, cause these 3 teams, okay, well, Miami Heat weren't contenders, but they were a team that could kind of
Miami Heat needed to make
with that
move.
culture. Now I get it, Heat culture gets thrown around a lot, but with Jrue Holiday, and I was saying Buddy Hield added to it as well. Keep that in mind. But with the Clippers, as long as we're healthy, and the Celtics, they were definitely contenders, right? And because before this trade, it was easy Bucks NBA title favorites, easy Bucks coming out of the East for me. I did think the Celtics were the only team to give them competition without Jrue Holiday.
Without Jrue Holiday. But that's competition, like making it a 4-2 series. Now is a debate on who's coming out of the East. They could come out of the East.
Now is a big debate. And then everybody else is back there. We'll talk about Miami and the Sixers in a second. But it's easily by far these 2 teams, the favorites out of the East. And you could even argue to win it all. I know you have the Suns, you have the Lakers, you have the Nuggets, right? Those are the 5 on the top of my head I could think of that are like the favorites to win it all. We'll do our NBA coverage.
Then they
and
probably
stuff.
throw in Warriors as like a 6.
Yeah,
team.
but they're not. I don't.
As like outside looking in.
Yeah, but the 5, I think elite teams are.
But
those.
yeah, the 5 you said, I agree with. I think they are the 5 best teams.
Okay, now it might change because we're gonna dissect the trade because Malcolm Brogdon could still be a piece somewhere, which is you're probably gonna allude what I'm gonna say. But in terms of the trade package, finally the Trailblazers got something right. Right now, don't get me wrong. Maybe the best offer for the Dame one was that one eventually, but I was just underwhelmed by the picks. I wasn't underwhelmed by like the players and the flipping Jrue Holiday. I was just underwhelmed by how they only got one pick out of it, like a clear cut pick, not a swap right thing. But in this one, like you said, they got 2 unprotected 29, I believe, and another pick next year's, I believe, from the Celtics. And then on top of that, you got Malcolm Brogdon, who you could flip, which we'll talk about in a second, and Robert Williams. And now, so this is what their depth looks like. As good as a injury-prone Robert Williams is, he is a defensive anchor. Like he's
a beast.
He's elite. He runs everywhere. He's a shot blocker. He was a big reason why the Celtics were a big defensive monster. They lose that a little bit on the rim protecting side, and I get it. Porzingis is there, but he ain't Robert Williams.
Robert Williams is a better defender.
Better defender in that sense, but you replace that with Jrue Holiday, arguably the best perimeter defender.
A perimeter lockdown.
At least guard defender in the league.
Yeah.
Now, I disagree with this take. I don't know how much you agree with it. I think it was NB on ESPN posted this. That the Celtics went from Marcus Smart to Jrue Holiday was a mirror picture. I disagree with that.
I think Jrue Holiday's upgrade.
I think it was like when we were having that debate of Bledsoe and Jrue Holiday.
I didn't think it was a much big of an upgrade, but yeah.
This one's a bigger upgrade. I think this one's more closer than that debate we were having.
This one's closer.
This one's much closer,
Yeah.
but
Jrue Holiday
the fact that Jrue Holiday, I think, is a better ball handler and a better shooter as well. Yeah. Now, Marcus Smart has his moments of getting hot.
He improved shooting.
His shooting, but I think Jrue Holiday, in that sense...
Not even shooting, just an offensive player overall.
And the way Jrue Holiday plays defense, I prefer it more because Marcus Smart pisses you off when he plays defense. Just because, like, the antics at times, right? Whereas Jrue Holiday just does his business. Yeah. Now, that's just a fan thing. That's a whole different thing. But no, I think this is a major upgrade overall. Not from Marcus Smart. I'm just thinking like culture-wise and everything.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get him having an issue with the refs like you do with Marcus Smart getting into fights. But yeah, I think this is an upgrade. This is not a mirror looking in the mirror thing for me.
This is a guy who
for those people that
this
think
is a guy who's just a solid veteran who could lock down. He could, I believe, is a better offensive player, better ball handler than Marcus Smart because Jrue Holiday could create his own shot as well, right?
Yeah.
From anywhere, and defensively, like I said, lockdown. A man who's experienced, won it all, and just a good guy to have in the locker room. He fills out everything. Everything Celtics needed, he fills out.
This is the Bucks thing, right? The Bucks upgraded with Dame. Yes, they downgraded defensively, but the bucket
It's a
major upgrade because you have other people around.
They upgraded. Yeah, the overall upgrade.
Then it's like Dame greater than Jrue, greater than Smart in this case, right? Like that's how it is. And let's talk about it for a second. The lineup right now is. You have 2 options because obviously the background depth is gonna be there.
Yeah,
because
the depth issues are there.
But it doesn't matter too much in basketball.
Depth issue is there for the Bucks as well.
You have 2 options in the lineups. You have Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis.
I like that one better.
And your second option, because in that case, because for you is Derek White will come off the bench, and who was a defensive player, all defensive. I think he made it, or he was in conversations at least.
I don't know. I like going big first.
And then you have the second option is. Jrue Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Porzingis. But I think they'll start Horford.
I think Horford is I think Derek White's better off the bench.
Yeah, so that team, now take that on. It is, now this lineup, I think this lineup is a little bit deeper. The Bucks, I think, are a little bit deeper. But it is Dame, Middleton, Giannis, Crowder, Brook. Or you go Dame, Malik, Middleton, Giannis, Brook. As well, like those are the 2 options I saw.
Bobby Portis,
he's off the bench. I don't think he's gonna. They might go Twin Towers when they need to, but at the end of the day, both teams have a stretch big that could rim protect.
Yeah,
right. Like Al Horford might not be a crazy 3-point shooter, but he could still rim protect a little bit. Sorry,
Porzingis.
No, I'm saying he could stretch the floor more than Robert Williams could.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so in this case, it's right now it's a toss up on top of my head. But if I were to pick a lineup, it's tough. Like I might lean in just because the depth of Bucks is slightly better, and Giannis right now is a superstar. I think Jason Tatum has to still emerge as that superstar. I don't classify him at a superstar yet, but he's just right there. Like, and this might be his opportunity.
He's not a tier 1 player in your eyes?
Like he's half a tier below. That's
like half a tier below. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like I wouldn't say he's tier 1. Like tier 1 is Giannis, Kawhi when he's healthy, LeBron, Curry. Like that's tier 1. He's in that tier with Jimmy Butler, for example, or even like healthy Anthony Davis. Like that's Damian Lillard. I think that's where I would put him.
Yeah, but he's at the top.
But I think he's at the very top of that. Looking into it. Because I could argue, like I know there's a debate, and we're not gonna get into this today. Like Luka and him are like in that same area.
Yeah, they're in the same area.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree with that. 100% agree with that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna be like, no, Luka's.
I love Luka. I'll be honest with you, but like Tatum has really took the steps forward these last few years.
Like I think Tatum will be a superstar for sure. But
I also love Tatum.
He's just like the outside looking in, which sucks because I love Jrue Holliday and he's a freaking Celtic. I love Kawhi Leonard and he's a freaking Clipper. Like I hate this, but yeah, no, like. If you were to pick a 7-game series, because we all know this should be on paper the conference finals. Who are you going with right now? Early paper.
I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to star power for the Celtics, at the end of the day, is Tatum. Right? Brown's question mark. And Jrue Holiday offensively has question marks. He does.
Yeah.
That is true.
At times.
He struggled in the playoffs as well.
Both teams' defense will be sick.
Yeah, but both teams' defense will be sick. I just think the clutch ability of Damian Lillard, especially in a winning environment, with Giannis, I think that star power is too much.
And guess what? Who was Giannis' second option before Dame?
Jrue Holiday?
No, the other guy. Who's on the team right now?
Middleton?
Yeah, and he was clutch usually at times too.
Yeah.
He was the closeout guy at the end of the day. Like it was not Giannis. Like Giannis
because
now, to your point,
it's Dame.
I'm agreeing with you. It's Dame, and you have a secondary option in Chris Middleton who has done it before.
Yeah.
So like if Dame gets double teamed, you have Giannis maybe under, and you have Chris Middleton wide open as well.
Or Brook Lopez as well.
So yeah, I'm leaning towards the Bucks right now.
Same.
But it's like a 7-gamer. Like both teams' defense. Like I think the Celtics might have the best defense in the league now. That's what.
Both teams' defense are good. I just feel like the players that the Bucks have could beat that defense.
And Giannis is now more.
Whereas you know, if Tatum gets clamped, I don't see Boston winning. Whereas if Giannis gets clamped, Lillard could carry. Where Lillard gets clamped, Giannis could carry.
Yeah.
Whereas if Tatum gets shut down, which he's happened, you know, a few times.
Yeah, because now you have like Giannis could still and Middleton could still defend Tatum at the end of the day. Right? They could be the primary defender on them.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not like it's someone like Jimmy Butler might be a little bit smaller on that, or Bam, whereas these guys have it. Before we go to our winner or loser, let's talk Portland, because they finally did something right, in my opinion, here. Out of all the trades I've seen them made in recent history. As much as I don't hate that original Dame trade, I just hated the picks.
It's the right thing. It's the right. They did it right. They did the right job.
Yeah, because like I wanted to see what this package looked like, and they killed it.
They did the right thing, right? Overall,
so their final tally on the trade, first of all, is they get DeAndre Ayton from the Suns.
Yeah.
They add Robert Williams.
Yeah.
They add Malcolm Brogdon, who will get flipped, and we'll get into that again in a second. They added the second rounder guy in Tamani Kamara. They added 3 first-round picks. 2024 Golden State top 4 protected though. 2029 Bucks and Celtics unprotected, and then they got pick rate swaps for 28 and 30 Milwaukee's. Right, so yeah, the picks are a little bit later on, but who knows what happens till then? Again,
it's smart to pick it later on.
In a way,
yeah. Why would you have it now?
No, for sure.
Why would you want this year's pick?
But I'm just saying you still want picks in general.
Yeah, no, but like,
that you could use to convey.
You could use, but like, if you were to pick a pick, you know, they could be shit by then.
So this is what their depth chart looks like right now, because this team ain't gonna go far. I think they'll be one of the worst teams.
Yeah, 100%.
But they'll be fun. They'll be the team that you say fun to watch, like the Colts, for example, and Houston, right? Right now, your lineup is Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, and they have options on the way they want to go. Because Jeremy Grant, in my opinion, will get traded at the deadline.
Just say the starting 5.
Okay, so right now, this is based on this page, whoever has it, is Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, Robert Williams, and DeAndre Ayton.
With Shaden Sharp off the bench.
Which off the bench, you have Malcolm Brogdon, which I think will get flipped, but assuming he's there. Shaden Sharp, Matisse Thybulle, Jairus Walker? No, it might be a different Walker. Because Jairus Walker, it might be no.
I think we'll leave it there.
And then M Brown.
Let's just say they have a fun young lineup, right?
Yeah. And you could go different ways. Grant might get traded, right? You might start Thybulle, put Robert Williams off the bench. DeAndre Ayton could excel and don't be pressured to rim protect all the time, but he still should be. But listen, DeAndre Ayton's out. He wanted out. This is pressure on him.
He said
Because
himself,
at the end of the day, this might be his team for this year. I think this is Scoot's team in the future still.
oh yeah,
This will be Scoot
it's good
Henderson's
team. That's 100%.
But yeah, so that's the Trailblazers, and then they got stuff to worry about. Now, Malcolm Brogdon. Let's get to him for a second. Now, like similar to Jrue Holliday, I don't think any team should go get him because listen, he's a 6 man of the year. He's more of a 6 man, whereas Jrue Holliday is a clear cut starter. Malcolm Brogdon's injury issues aside, he is still a 3-and-D guy. A pretty good defender in my opinion.
He is a pretty good defender.
But here's the thing, he's gonna probably get flipped at one point. At some point,
yeah, he will. He should.
Obvious number one spot is the Clippers now.
Yeah,
Because I don't think the Heat get him as a difference
Clippers
maker.
wanted him, right?
Yeah, in the original trade. Porzingis trade.
Original Porzingis trade, yeah.
And I think they could still go get him. And again, the question mark of James Harden, potential 3-teamer could happen. But that being said, if they're getting Malcolm Brogdon, which I think they're able to by getting rid of maybe one of their young guys, Brandon Boston Jr., right?
Yeah.
Throw in Marcus Morris's contract or whatever you want to do. They have a chance of getting him. And listen, I don't think they put him, assuming health, because they're literally going to have the most injury-prone team
That's true,
in the
yeah.
Clippers. But
Brogdon is injury prone.
like, he's obviously not an upgrade of Jrue Holiday, for sure. But I still think that team is good enough. You just give them a decent ball handler, they're fine. Like, Jrue Holiday would have put Clippers over the top for me.
Yeah.
And to put them in contendership. They're still a contenders as long as those two guys are healthy.
Westbrook handle ball.
Yeah. So like him, he could be off the bench. You could team him up with Westbrook, and you could get rid of Bones Highland, whoever you want. But
Clippers seem the best fit for me. I don't really see anywhere else.
Dallas, still.
Just why not? And then Miami.
Miami still, but I don't think they're.
It's not even that. Just because they need to do something.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think. Like, then I'll agree with you that they're the third best team if they get them. But for now, I'll do my research and see when we do our NBA prediction.
But Celtics and Bucks cooked
easily. Top 2, everyone in the East,
and everyone else.
So that being said, winners and losers. We already know the winners. Losers, Miami and Sixers. Joel Embiid tweeted out. What did I show you again?
Damn, these guys like this offseason was great or something.
Something
like that. Referring to the Bucks and Celtics.
And listen, I don't know how much Joel Embiid has in stake of all the drama that happens with the Sixers every year, but for the most part, you ain't helping this guy, because you better hope Tyrese Maxey becomes like the next best, like a top 5 guard in this league. Not point guard in this league.
Yeah.
Because that's how much you're viewing him for not getting Damian Lillard and now Jrue Holiday. I still think he's worth Jrue Holiday for right now. Like right now.
Tyrese Maxey for Jrue Holiday?
Like, not depending on if it's like a straight up
for
thing.
Dame, 100%. For Jrue Holiday, it's
still a bit of question mark, but I'm willing to.
Jrue Holiday
I'm willing to let go of him if
they want to keep the youth, right? And Tyrese Maxey is their youth.
He tweeted this offseason was fun, LMAO.
Yeah,
but maybe the Jrue Holiday one was a little over this mark, but it depends on what else they did with it.
Yeah, Jrue Holiday one.
But they better hope if Dame was only stopped because of that, then is brutal.
Then they messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're wasting Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's on the clock because Jokic is proving that he's the best center in the game, arguably the best player in the game. Still, because Giannis, obviously,
Jokic is coming into this season. Jokic is the best player in the league right now.
Yeah, coming into the season, I agree with that.
Yeah,
but at end of the season, I project Giannis to be finishing off that. But yeah, like in the present day, you have pressure on you just because you won MVP. Guess what? Your counterpart, instead of winning MVP, won the championship Finals MVP
and championship
and cooked in the playoffs.
Yeah,
by the way,
cooked
in the playoffs. So, and then he still has Jamal Murray. You have a disgruntled James Harden, and again, we already shared our thoughts on that. So yeah, that's loser number 1. Sixers, you better hope Tyrese Maxey.
I won't even say Sixers. I'm just gonna say Joel Embiid.
Yeah, he's a big loser, but I'm talking about as a team.
Yeah,
Sixers, you better hope Tyrese Maxey turns into something, because
he is turning into something. He's taking steps forward.
Whereas you guys, like comparing to your team, the Raptors is a little bit different because you guys did not trade Scotty Barnes, but with Dame and Joel still wins the championship. Dame and Pascal does not, right? Unless you added other piece to it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, okay, I get not trading Scotty for Dame. The Kevin Durant one, okay, that's still a debate.
That's a debate.
But in that sense, you gotta hope Scotty turns into something for the Kevin Durant. But this one is more worse for me, Tyrese Maxey. Flip side, now let's look at the Heat, who are willing to give up Tyler Hero, but we're not willing to give up
Caleb Martin,
really. I don't know what the offers were exactly.
Probably because J. Cole said so.
But I get your debate of being the third best team, but I don't give a shit about that because at the end of the day, about the championship. Right?
I mean, realistically, I don't even think you. Obviously, you missed out on Dame. Even if you had Jrue, I don't think you would have had a chance against the Bucks still.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but I thought they would have put up more of a fight. Like, they would have been in that the Celtics level then.
Yeah,
if they brought in Jrue and especially Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
Now you bring in Malcolm Brogdon and Buddy Hield, I'm still not putting you near it.
You're the third best team.
You're the
third best team.
Yeah. That's a different debate.
You're the third best
That's
team.
a different debate.
You're ahead of Sixers.
Okay. I'll just stay quiet for now because I fully agree with that. But
I don't care.
They're in the same tier. Let's just say
the same tier, yeah.
They're in the same tier.
I agree with that.
But yeah, that's the overall Jrue trade right now. Trailblazers did well. They're going to be a fun team to rebuild.
Just the aftermath.
They're a rebuild team in NBA 2K, as people would like to say it. And Dame, let's finish off with some Dame comments because I saw after the trade. Damian Lillard officially had a rally for him. Milwaukee had a rally for him and officially been introduced on Saturday.
Yeah.
And some reports that came out because you know how like NBA players have their own media person at times that they share shit to. Like so, Dame's is Chris Haynes of Yahoo. I don't know if he's still with Yahoo.
And TNT.
Yeah, TNT and stuff. Like, for example, Rachel Nichols and Jimmy Butler was a big one, right? Because, like, that classic, well, I fought them. Come on right now, like, instant. But, Chris Haynes reported that, like, because Miami was out of the picture or they weren't willing to do some stuff, he wanted to rescind the trade request, but Portland denied that rescind.
And Portland
and every right to do so.
Every right to do so,
I agree with that 100% because you need to move on. I think it was a smart decision.
It was smart.
Like, listen, I understand Dame was the moneymaker, but finally you did the right thing. Even if he didn't request a trade, you should have still traded him.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, in my opinion, because you were not getting anywhere. Now Dame's happy in Milwaukee, and he should be happy in Milwaukee. Dame can't be a bitch about it. You're teaming up with
I don't see him. I don't see him.
No. I'm just saying in general. Like the reports were, and looks like he's fully accounted there. He gave his goodbye to Portland. And he did say, like, he might be, like, doing the Kyle Lowry thing, retiring as a Blazer. Because he's like, I hope one day, I have a feeling that I will retire. I'll come back as a Blazer. And hopefully you guys forgive me by then. And, my heart won't be as broken or something like along that line. You could check out his thing on Twitter and Instagram. But, yeah, I found that good because, Portland still did the right thing. Because they could have easily been, the owners could have been like, he's the moneymaker. Let's keep him and we'll figure it out later on. So good on them.
Good on Portland. Good on Dame. Good on Bucks. Good on Celtics.
9 days till preseason starts. Media day is today. For a lot of teams, it's today.
Yeah, and the one person we won't see there is James Harden.
For sure, yeah. That's the one confirmed. So we'll see, because that situation is now the next thing. I guess you agree now. Joel Embiid is the next superstar.
Yeah, we already talked about that last pod, and I think we'll just wrap it up there. And is there anything else we are missing? I don't think so, right?
No. So, make sure you guys check out our MLB preview season recap pod that comes out tomorrow. Other than that, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for more content. We're trying to work on some stuff behind the scenes as well for you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow all our socials. Download the podcast on audio platforms you guys listen to and rate it 5 stars if you guys enjoyed it. And other than that, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.